Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and today's video is another compilation that I filmed during the recent Cultivate 23 trade show in Columbus, Ohio. The first video I shared was all about new plants that were actually submitted to a specific section of the trade show from all the different plant brands. Today's video are some of the plants that really captured my attention when I was walking the show floor. Now you're gonna see a few things that seem to repeat over and over again. Hydrangeas and begonias, and my mind was blown with how many new varieties of each of those types of plants there are. Yeah, probably market saturation, but obviously those are plants that people enjoy buying, and plant breeders are doing an amazing job with really improving the genetics. But now, the first plant that really struck my fancy is one that I have growing right here behind me. These are the columnar apples, branded as fruit snacks. I received these back in the spring as bare root, and I wasn't able to get them planted in the ground as I intended, so I have them growing in 10-gallon pots, and they are super, super happy. And what I was so pleased to see is that they're actually being marketed for that purpose, for people to grow these on a patio and actually be able to grow a reasonable sized apple tree to even, enjoy for the fruit and to enjoy for the screening purpose. So I hope you'll enjoy these insights from Cultivate 23 as I go booth by booth to bring you all the things that are going to be available in 2024. So you guys all know that I am a food growing enthusiast. I'm best known for my book, The Foodscape Revolution, and I love blurring the lines between ornamental and edible. So I was really happy to stop by the Star Roses and Plants booth and check out all of the new varieties from Bushel and Berry. Now, since 2020, I have been bragging about Snowy Belle strawberry, which look, is still producing in the middle of July when it's like 100,000 degrees here in North Carolina. And for the last few years, I've really not been able to find great resources for buying these, for making these, like telling you where to buy them retail. And I was so relieved to have a conversation about some of the production challenges they experienced. But to let you all know that Snowy Belle is now full steam ahead, and this should be available basically everywhere that you buy plants in spring of 2024. I'm even hoping that I'm going to be able to have these available at my spring open house for everybody to be able to purchase, because hands down, this is the best strawberry that I have ever grown. But check out some of the other plants that are available through the Star Roses and Plants program. Next up is Concept Plants, and this is a company that is run by one of my dearest friends in the industry, Peter Van Ryzen, and of course they are responsible for getting Treasure Island sweet potatoes into the marketplace. And I love the idea of this being an ornamental edible. So many of the sweet potatoes that have been grown and marketed for really the last 20 years have just been because their foliage was pretty. And why wouldn't you want to grow a sweet potato that you can also harvest and bring in and eat on Thanksgiving? So Concept Plants really has some of the greatest varieties in the market. They have won Chelsea Flower Show 6 years, and they represent a lot of my dear friends who breed plants with lavenders and agapanthus and, well, just countless other varieties. So I was always excited to stop by Concept Plants to see what they are offering and know that they really have their finger on the pulse for plant sales globally. All right, next up were the amazing tomatoes and peppers and basils that are being introduced by Ball and Burpee Home Gardening. Now, I sometimes get a little bit confused because some of these companies have the same parent, but they're separate entities, and I get plants to trial from all of them. And so for purposes of simplicity, I'm putting all of these together. Of course, I've had great success growing all of the different tomatoes and peppers here in North Carolina. They're a little bit slower to produce because we're so much hotter. In fact, we're in the middle of July, or actually getting towards the end of July. It's basically in the upper 90s every day. A lot of the tomatoes just straight up aren't getting pollinated, so I'm not getting a lot of fruit set this season. But as you can see behind me, the growth on these is really quite substantial. And I know that once we start getting a little bit cooler, which is probably still over a month away, these plants will really become significantly higher yielding. You know, they're meant to be disease resistant, and I think that they can pretty well say they've accomplished that. You can see these plants don't have septoria leaf spot. They haven't really, well, they aren't showing any disease issues, and that's really important as far as the tomato issues that home gardeners have. And I'm really happy that I get to work cooperatively with them and give them this information from a North Carolinian's perspective, because many of these plants are being bred in the Midwest. They simply don't have the climatic conditions of the Southeast. Now, there's no question my favorite basil is definitely Pesto Party. This is from Burpee Home Gardening. You can see it behind me here. It's tight, it's columnar, it's a great container plant, and it hasn't flowered at all the entire summer. So no pinching of the blooms to maintain the delicious foliage flavor. Put this on your must-grow list. Well, you know that I have been working hard on building an all-natives garden, and of course, so much of that is tied to ecology and sustainability. And North Creek Nurseries out of the Philadelphia area is really leading the charge, and they have been for more than 2 decades. And I'm just so happy to see what they're promoting at the trade show, which is really quite different from what so many of the other companies have. You know, they're promoting the fact that in the future, as we deal with climatic issues, native plants absolutely have to be a part of the dynamic. We're not going to live in a world of exclusively hydrangea macrophylla and ornamental begonias. And all of these native plants really need to be recognized for the value and importance that they represent.